Hello there. So have you ever gone into a toy shop, looked around and thought, I really can't decide which Lego to buy. I don't think I'm going to buy any because I just can't find anything that interests me. Well, in this video, we're going to discuss the question, has Lego got boring? We're going to discuss why that might be and how Lego might be able to turn their fortunes around and reinvigorate our interest in Lego. Now, this video is separate from the issue of whether or not Lego has got more expensive. Expense is a completely different topic, and I intend to make another video, although I've made one in the past, I think, but a much more detailed video specifically looking at the cost of Lego sets to see whether or not this kind of globally accepted dogma that Lego is absolutely extortionate and going up in price at a ridiculous rate, whether or not it's actually true. We're going to try and answer that question in a future video. So if you want to know the answer to that question, please do subscribe. So as I say, the first thing is, you go to toy shops and you are confronted with literally a wall the length of the shop full of different Lego sets. And on the surface of it, that may seem like a really good thing for somebody interested in Lego, but actually there have been scientific studies which have shown that the more choice you have, the harder it is to make a decision, leaving a buyer feeling sort of confused and unsure as to what they should actually buy. Now, if we actually look at the range of different sets that Lego sell, a lot of them aren't going to be of interest to people like you or I. I'm talking here about Lego Friends and Lego City, which are primarily aimed at kind of young children. Unless you are an adult building your own Lego City, they're not going to be of interest to you because they're generally quite simple sets based around very simple themes, so an airport or a fire station, that sort of thing. And similarly with Lego Friends, the packaging's pink and they're always things like pony farms and things. Well, I like pony farms, but what I'm trying to say is they're not really aimed at adult fans of Legos. Then we get onto the Lego Technic. Now, I actually started my Lego journey with Lego Technic. When I got back into the hobby as an adult, I started building great big Lego Technic cranes that cost about 130 quid and lorries and things like that. Really great fun, but sort of 2 or 3 years into building cranes and planes and helicopters, I got bored because there's only so many of those types of sets you can make. And one thing you find when you're building, say for example, Lego Technic cars, is that they all tend to have the same engine piston design. They all seem to have the same sort of steering mechanisms and things, so it gets a little bit dull actually making it, and that's not what the hobby is about. And then we get on to Lego Star Wars, again a theme of sets that I was really interested in. I built my first ever Lego Star Wars set and it was an Imperial shuttle. Great fun, really enjoyed it, got me into building other types of Lego because I thought that Technic was all that I was interested in because it was technical and manly. I've been building Lego Star Wars for years and years now, and I have started to notice in the process of making videos about whether or not Lego is getting worse and comparing older sets with newer sets, that Lego have been recycling very similar designs for, well, almost decades now, and each year you get a new iteration of the Millennium Falcon, and well, how many Millennium Falcons can you buy as an adult and build before you get a little bit bored of it? And the situation is about to get 10 times worse because the Star Wars trilogy as we knew it, or trilogy of trilogies, has ended. So there are no new Star Wars ships and buildings and scenes and things for them to make out of Lego. Now, I know there are going to be more Star Wars films in the future that have got nothing to do with the original trilogy. It really remains to be seen whether or not those new films have the same interest to long-term Star Wars fans as the older films. Now, there are other Lego themes like Ninjago, which have never interested me personally. I don't really understand the appeal, so I'm not going to discuss them because it clearly is a very popular Lego theme, just not something that I'm interested in. Lego Creator and Lego Expert sets, don't really understand the difference between those, but I expect that Lego Expert sets are more complicated. It makes sense, doesn't it? They essentially tend to be kind of more unusual types of Lego sets, so I lump into those, probably incorrectly, but the Lego architecture sets, so the little cityscapes you can build, the buildings, modular buildings like the cinema and the grocer and all those. I find those things really interesting. And I think, is it Lego Creator that's the one that's where it's designed by kind of individuals, submitted online? I don't think it is. So the little Back to the Future model that I made several videos ago, that was actually designed and created by a normal person, and then people voted on it and said they wanted that set, and Lego produced it as an actual set. That's really cool, and actually I tend to find that those sets tend to be of more interest generally to me, even though they are not the best-selling Lego sets, which is odd, because the people with money, the people who are actually in a position to pay a lot of money to Lego, are adults. So we are best placed to pay, you know, 100 quid, 500 quid for a Lego set, even though Lego has kind of pockets of interest to different people. It does just get boring over time because there's only so much Lego that an individual needs. And unfortunately, things go in and out of fashion as well. Lego has had a huge surge in interest, especially since the Lego movies, which really rekindled interest in Lego. Lego have really capitalised on that kind of success in recent years. In the 2000s, Lego produced more new sets than they ever have previously, and that's created a glut of Lego. And it's possible that the momentum from that time is kind of slowly waning. That's not to say that Lego is dead in the water. Lego is by far the most successful brick-based toy manufacturer, and I should think they will continue to be for years to come. But they perhaps do need to find ways to diversify their product line, make it more interesting, maybe appeal to adults more than children. But perhaps Lego has just kind of gone out of fashion again, or is a little bit less popular than it was at the height of its popularity. It will come back again, bigger and stronger than ever before. Lego needs to keep diversifying, and they're clearly doing that with the likes of their new Mario sets. What do you think of those, though? Are they actually any good? Because it doesn't appeal to me, but that's just my specific taste. Now, as a slightly side point, it's quite interesting, isn't it, that people buy loads of different Lego sets. People don't kind of reuse the sets they buy anymore, do they? You don't put all the sets you've got in a box and build a new set, or see which parts you've got and then just buy the extra parts to build your new set. People do just go out and buy brand new complete Lego sets, which is probably part of the reason why Lego's put more of a focus these days on unique or specific Lego parts. Somebody commented on a video of mine recently saying that Lego had got boring because the parts were too specific to each model. Well, I disagree with that. Specific Lego parts make individual Lego sets more interesting. You know, an unusual Lego part that you've never seen before, even if you can't then use it on another model, because I don't think you will use it on another model. It does kind of make the mock community a bit more challenging, because if you have a mock and you include a very specific unique Lego part, like the windscreen I used on my recent Lego DeLoreans that's only available in one set, then it dramatically increases the price of that mock, which kind of, although this is a bit of a rambly video, brings me on nicely to mocks, because I think that mocks are almost the future of Lego. If you're bored of making trains and cars, go to a website like Rebrickable. There are so many unique designs on there. You're bound to find something on there that you want to build, and if you don't find something, then you probably need to find a new hobby. A lot of those models don't have the same kind of finesse as genuine Lego sets. They can be a little bit fiddly to build, but you know, this is a brick building toy. Persevere and just kind of put up with it. And perhaps Lego need to capitalise on this a little bit more, because you know, when you build mocks, it's quite challenging, I can tell you, to get hold of the parts. I am building a Lego mock, a new DeLorean with over, I think, 2,000 parts in it. I can tell you, it has been a struggle to buy the parts. It's been expensive. I'm still waiting for some parcels to come through the post. Some pieces I could only buy internationally. Maybe that's why Lego has bought Bricklink. Maybe Lego could start their own Bricklink shops and sell brand new Lego. They wouldn't necessarily have to undercut existing sellers, just make sure that there is a supply of Lego parts available. I don't know. I'd be really interested to know whether or not you think Lego has got boring, or whether you're as interested in Lego now as you were when you were a small child. Let me know down below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time for another video.